Hello, everybody. This is Joshua Hayes at BigWaveTrading.com coming to you with the January 7th, 2009 stock market wrap up. Excuse me. Really quick, let's go to the indexes. Let's pull these up. Now, we all know that today was not a good day in the stock market. The S&P 500 lost 3%, but I want everybody to notice there is a little tail that shows that the market came off its lows near the end of the day. You can see this on the Dow Jones Industrial Average that was down 2.7%. You can see the little tail here also. And then here's the NASDAQ coming up with a 3.23% loss. You can see the little tail. The good news also about today's sell-off, volume was lower than the day before on the NASDAQ. The Dow Jones Industrial Average was higher. That's the only problem there. Good news is below average, and there is a tail at the 50-day moving average. S&P 500 volume was lower again. So the sell-off was basically on lower volume on the New York Stock Exchange and the NASDAQ, and volume was below average on both also. Or actually, on the NASDAQ, it was at the average, so I do apologize. It's at the average. But bottom line is, it was a pretty nasty sell-off overall in the uptrend. Now, whenever you look at the indexes, I have to admit, they still look like they're in good shape on the sub-intermediate term trend and the short-term trend as they hold above the 50-day moving average and still are making higher lows and higher highs since November. However, even though the indexes don't look that bad, underneath the stocks that are out there do not look good. Bottom line, I had a good long set up yesterday, and there were problems with it. I warned against everybody going extremely long it. Still, with the pattern that's set up, we had to go long. We got hit with a 13% reversal immediately today. However, it's still above the support in the base. So it's not a full sell, it's only a partial sell. We got to sell almost all of it, and if you're a new investor, and if you did take that long, which wasn't perfect, you do need to sell all of it, because capital preservation is the name of the game when you first start out. Me, I can let things move a little bit because 2008, I have a gain for the year. New investors, chances are for 2008, you did not have a gain for the year. So you can't be as willing to be as risky as I was. The long that we went long today that reversed, got to get out of it. But the other one, still fine. We're still long 13 stocks. But don't forget, we're still short 34. Why do we have 34 shorts and only 13 longs after the rally from the November lows to the January highs? Because this rally, as you can completely tell, has been on lower volume almost the entire way. It's way more obvious to look at on the NASDAQ because since the November low, there was not a single day above the 50-day volume average except for the quadruple witching until yesterday. And then finally yesterday, it looked like, with the higher volume that some accumulation was coming into the market. However, I warned about the minor week close, that how we opened low, went a little bit lower, went to the high of the day, and then come well off the highs to still close up, but well off the highs. It was a problem, but still, two very pretty breakouts. However, those breakouts were looking perfect. On the day of their breakout, neither one looked, quote, quote, perfect. So that was our signal that things could turn bad, that things could not work. Our signal that things could turn bad is that I still have 34 shorts. And all my shorts that I took from June, July, August, September, actually May, June, July, August, September, all the shorts that were taken during this time, from May to August to September, are all still shorts. Except for one that we covered back here in December, which immediately became a short again the very next day. I basically saying, you should never have covered me. So I covered it on this move here after going short in September, and still it shouldn't have been fully covered. So we should still be short, and we would still have a 40% gain in it. Now, there was one other long-term short that I'm not going to throw up here for the free people. on the .net site, but it was a full cover today. So we did get a full cover signal in another short that produced at least a 40% gain for us at one point. So it is weird that we did get that today on the nasty sell-off. However, the more important fact is that yesterday on our up day, we had no full covers. Huge wake up. And our two new longs, they were looking perfect until a few days ago on one of them, and then until the breakout yesterday, because the close was a little weak, which kept me from, being that interested in it. So bottom line is the stock market, sub-intermediate term up, short term still up, kind of laterally now, intermediate term from June, and long term from the beginning of 2008, excuse me again, is still very, very much down. So the big trend is down, the intermediate term trend is down, and that means a short term and a sub-intermediate term rally is not going to turn into an intermediate and long-term uptrend unless there's volume. And as we can see here on this NASDAQ chart, let's look at the breakdown. Let's look at the big red bar, another one above average, another one above average, and another one above average as on the way down. Forget about the green bars on the way down because we kept going lower. Now, from all these big, tall red bars above the 50-day volume average, how are we since the rally? Low, lower, lower. So it just keeps getting worse and worse and worse and worse with the volume. And we still haven't had any IPOs since LOPE. So the IPO pipeline is still dry, and that just means with all these job layoffs everywhere, and without new companies with innovative products coming online, I don't see how that's going to be really good for the market. Because whenever we have nice charts that go from perfect on the setup to not so perfect, but still break out and make you think, good, we got something going here possibly, and then fail, and then the other longs that you've been long kind of don't nearly look as good as they used to now, and you're like barely just hanging on to your longs because they haven't given you a full sell signal, but they're barely holding on. That just doesn't give me a whole lot of faith that this rally can continue on. Now let's go look at the commodities. Oil cratered 12% today to 42. That doesn't show me a sign of a strong economic outlook. Platinum still rising. Silver down today, still within that little range, as you can see from October. I'm just randomly putting here. Let's just go out to there. There we go. So from 10.6 to 107 in a whole whopping 1, 2, 3 months, you've moved a whole negative 1%. So kind of flatlining still. Let's see what gold did today. I haven't checked yet. Gold closed below the 200-day moving average, still holding above the 50-day moving average. Needs to find support at the 50-day moving average, or else all the gold bulls will be wrong. I think it needs more time. I am a long-term gold bull. However, to make, like the 500% to 2,390% gain, to the 300% gain, to the 180% gains, to the 200% gains in 6 to 12 months to 16 months, that's what I go for. Long-term predictions I don't play. However, I turned into a huge gold bull after 9/11, and I remain a huge gold bull. Had I bought gold after 9/11, I would be up 190% plus on my gold contracts in the future market. So I don't know, maybe I should go with my gut more often, because another play of mine was to short the dollar after 9/11, and as you can see, that clearly turned out to be right. But sadly, I started a futures option short, and by the time it closed, it ended with me not making anything. So from here to here, when it expired, as you can see, it's now negative, so I lost money. But right after that, the dollar fell and cratered actually to its 08 lows, and was a nice 37% drop on your futures contract. So at least I can get the long-term picture right, and if I'm long-term bullish on gold, that would maybe I would probably look to be going long gold stocks maybe in the future if they set up. I'll give you a sneak peek of one metal stock that I'm watching that I think is beautiful, and I'll let you look on it. That's a Zoom 3, and that's a Zoom 4, and it's beautiful. I love this stock. However, I don't think that we'll be going long this stock anytime soon, so I'm sure by the time it is time to go long, most of you will forget about it. But very pretty. Hopefully these metal mining stocks can keep setting up. I don't care if it's steel and iron. I don't care if it's platinum, silver, or gold. Set up and work. That's all I want. I just want something to work and to keep working. So Joshua Hayes at BigWaveTrading.com with part 1, part 2, and part 3 to follow. Why part 3? I don't think we'll get it all done in part 2. Aloha.